Okay, welcome back. So now we will look at how to add in a validation rule for my data to make sure that someone doesn't enter in the wrong amount or the wrong number. So I'm going to use the entry fee field, which has a number, and my validation rule, validation means to check if that data is valid. I do not want people to enter in a number that is bigger than 40 Rand, because this entry fee was only, the max was 40. Do this with numbers, you can do this with text, you can do it with most of the data types, and it's to make sure people don't enter in the incorrect data. So in this case, for the entry fee, when they add in another student, I do not want someone to enter in 50 Rand by mistake or 100 Rand, because then my whole database will be incorrect. The way that we do this is we need to firstly go to our design view, and we need to click on our entry fee field and go down to these two, which is the one says validation rule and the next box says validation text. So for the validation rule, I want to use what we call the logical operators. So I will use the larger than sign, well in this case smaller than. I do not want it to be larger than, I want to use smaller than and equal to 40. So I just type in the smaller than sign, the equal sign, 4 and a 0. And this will make sure that people cannot enter in anything that is larger than 40. They can enter in the number 40, but nothing larger. Then underneath it, you will see that there's a property called validation text. Now this is text that will be displayed when people maybe mistakenly enter the wrong number. And you need to make it fairly polite, you don't want to make it rude. It must be professional, and I will say, please enter a value less than or equal to 40. Okay, that means when someone does make a mistake, this text will then be displayed. So you always use these two in conjunction, the validation rule and the validation text. So we go back to our table view. It says, do I want to save the table? Yes. It's just warning me to say that because I'm messing with data that is actually currently in the database, so I'm just going to say yes. And I can now head down to the bottom of my database where someone will enter in a new record, and I can actually test this out. And let's say if by accident someone entered in 62 Rand, then the data, if I click outside of that, my validation rule gets displayed. Please enter a value less than or equal to 40. Then the person doing it can say, oh yeah, I made a mistake, it was actually 32 Rand, which is obviously within the validation requirements, and no message is now displayed. So that is how you do the validation rule, and that is how you do the validation text.